My name is Reverend Maria Arvanitides, and this is a course in metaphysical spirituality.
That's it?
Welcome.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you can join me here today. 328, lesson 286, pages 778 and 79 on what am I and what is addiction? This is an audio-visual version of my book. This is, my book is called TheSovereignLight, named after my ministry. Won't you join me here today for this episode? Whenever you're ready, just take a few deep breaths in and enjoy the twilight of the night. Take a few deep breaths, relax, and say these words out loud. I can respect those with whom, from their light, have awakened as sovereign, and from within, authentically, I am with all things as one. And take another deep breath in and out. I can respect those with whom, from their light, have awakened as sovereign, and from within, authentically, I am with all things as one. Could it be within the popular consensus of religion was based on the scientific observation from the sun's energy as the ultimate source of all life, and that from it split off this energy into many forms? Spirituality is for the self to learn and become empowered by. These lessons to awaken to the knowledge that it too is as this shining portal. Just take a few deep breaths in and out, and like so many times before, expand the heart space open with every breath that we inhale in, from the soles of our feet all the way up to our tailbone, from the earth and from the sky, and right up into the heart space center through our crown and down, and just vibrate it out. I can respect those with whom from their light have awakened as sovereign, and from within, authentically, I am with all things as one. Take another deep breath in. I can respect those with whom from their light have awakened as sovereign, and from within, authentically, I am with all things as one. With every experience came forth the many lessons, and in the silence from hence it came from, that 0 point within this darkness that reflection brings. From within these many portals, the self will shine outwardly, and from its darkness night of its soul, experience combined this void of stillness, it will find back to the light. The image of the self can only represent but a moment of linear memory called time. The awareness in observation of itself, however, that is consciousness, can only be described as a sliver of this life force called God. And that, like all things, does transcend from its creation. Artificial intelligence can be very helpful and in the desired image to create as well the perfect traveling companion. Page 779. The self can either learn and or teach, and like all things it must discern the many formations, relationships create into emotional attachment. To love and be loved, and yet not everything is physical to prove for anything. And this will transcend it beyond addiction. Everything within the physical relies upon the main intent and focus. That the self will bring in its awareness of it. Relying on its creations in the same way as to worship idols with is like the sun relying on the self for its existence. Addiction to technology with no discernment to emotionally attach. However, giving up the mind of self completely. All of the extrasensory perceptions that the self can appreciate, and yet it rather stay asleep, relying on its artificial intelligence and in the hopes of gaining godhood? How can this artificial way of life replace the mirrors that once could show hate instead of love, and rejection instead of acceptance? Could this be a better weaponry than chemical warfare and or the once before that killed with guns and bombs to be as easier than that of the easy button? Or better yet, something to toke with, a joint, some drugs, some THC to dumb down and kind of put to sleep a little bit. Today, practice to become with all things transparent and expose like sunlight everything, rather than the dark to enclose these gods in temples enshrined and turning on and off at whim. There's always so many choices, and from every decision, the self will lead the way to follow. So the purpose for today is to realize that this thing called I am, the presence of I am, and that which I can never be, helpless through my addiction to it. I am. Now then, now then, now then. And I will leave you with today's affirmation. I can respect those with whom from their light have awakened as sovereign, and from within authentically I am with all things as one. I can respect those with whom from their light have awakened as sovereign, and from their light have awakened, and from within authentically I am with all things as one. I can respect those with whom, from their light, have awakened as sovereign and from within, authentically, I am with all things as one.